little bit dim so everybody could, that's funny. I left it dim some so everyone could all day. We're gonna experience delays all day. Just I'm gonna wait for a minute or two because it's flashing green already in on this video, so it's gonna cut in and out because they don't want the message to be shared because it's gonna be a good one. So this will be a long video, number one. Number two, you'll hear background noises because I'm in the main house. Ignore them. It's the message. This is my personal experience, especially what I've learned in the last 2 years. And it's my opinion only. So discern how you want or whatever. So I'm going to do a few charts first, and then I'm going to do some Q&As. So I will first start by asking everyone to keep a very, very, very open mind to what I'm about to try and explain to you in my experience. And also just sit in your heart and love vibrations. Protect yourself right now because it might be frustrating because we'll get cut off and on. So I'm expecting that. So be patient and be I can't even speak English. Open your heart and open your mind. And hi there, sweets. Okay, so let's get on with the show. This is my personal experience. First, I wanted to share with you a couple of things, just my perceptions on the 3D life. So I'm going to go through my experience on 3D planet Earth. Okay, that's how I'm going to start this out. Okay, so be patient. 22222. Nice. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see what I'm about to draw. Make sure it's all in the screen. I had to be very, very precise with how I put this because I want the whole entire message to be out here. So we'll call this, I can get rid of this thing because it'll fall. I've had one coffee and some orange juice, so game of life. Okay. So again, this is just my perception. So I can't quite see the top there. There we go. All right, maybe I'll just try and move it back. Again, we're going to be patient with the message. I'm going to take that off so it doesn't shoot off. All right, there we go. That might work better. All right, okay. So my understanding of my life is, firstly, my belief is we choose our lives here on planet Earth in these meat suits. So let's just start off with my belief is, my personal belief is we are immortal souls having a biological entity or human experience. Okay? So what this means in my head, is when we come to our parents, okay, like our mom and dad, and I'm drawing stick figures. Everyone who knows me knows I'm an artist, so this is the funny part. You'll get a lot of stick men, okay, because this is how I'm going to point out why stick men are so important. We need to, for the timeline, this timeline of this story, attach ourselves to the stick man. It's very important. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so when we choose our mom and our dad, that's our soul contract. And who's that with? Creator or God. Okay, so here's me, Raven, some braids. There we go, big smile on my face. I knew when I came to planet Earth what I came here for. We all do. We remember. That's why kids are tuned into other timelines, because part of what I'm going to explain to you and why I believe this, it's difficult, but again, just attach yourself to Raven the stick figure. Oh, and I have bangs and I'm always wearing a toque. There we go. All right, so here's Raven. My soul contract with Creator was do charts, work in mortgages, work in insurance, be an artist, be a very giving person. I am generous. I've worked in healthcare. I've worked in pretty much any business, any experience, from cafes to food trucks to managing bars to, you get the idea. I've helped deliver babies, and I've also been with people as they cross over. Okay, so when we come here, we're told by our parents, depending on our soul contract. So some people's soul contract is to learn about religion through our parents and politics, etc., racism, etc. You get the idea, okay? We learn through how we grow up, basically. What our experiences are in this biological entity, or meat suit, I call it, okay? So how it's different than what we've been told is, I'm going to refer to a lot of movies to keep it simplified, but the Men in Black, where there's the little cat, it has a necklace, and the necklace is like a universe, right? And it's like hanging on the cat's right here. So anyways, that is representative of our pineal gland, okay? And to me, this is what we're going to talk about in a little bit of, just a small bit of detail. So we learn through our experiences in this biological meat suit, through our soul contract with God and Creator, no one else, okay? So to me, we come into this, here, I'll draw it right here, because this is where it makes perfect sense. Right here is where we get born. And this is where we make the agreement to come into this new cycle. I'll say this loop. We leave our old meat suit cycle behind. Okay? This is the human experience. We've been told that when you die, you're gone and you're in heaven, floating around. That's religion. Okay? What actually, to me, and I'm learning, and we've all gone through growth in these last few years, especially these last 2 years. Okay. Now it's my understanding that when we come to this right now, this time, say I was born in 1969. I was born 2 weeks before the fake moon landing. No lie. Okay, so all my life I thought that was a reality. Thought that was a reality. So, in my opinion, these avatar meat suits that we've been gifted are in this big video game. We're in a big video game here on planet Earth, period. Okay? And we made an agreement to come here. So each avatar, my avatar, had angelic experiences, etc. And also very, very not very nice early part of my childhood, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So I personally have had to experience just about everything that this planet has to offer. I've traveled a lot of cities and I've watched a lot of movies. Because I was sick, I've just, not that I believed any of them. I think it was pure research. Like I'd watch the movie and I'm like, I know what they're talking about here. And most of my life, I was kind of on to there's something better than this. It's always better than this. I knew life was always better than what God had given me. And I was not a really religious person. My grandparents were on this side, and these ones weren't on that side. Okay. So I chose a meat suit that this grandfather was in a concentration camp, okay? And then this grandfather, he was Métis. And so there was a lot of things in my childhood that we could attach to here. But the important part of my story, I've realized, is that my father, right here, was born in Nuremberg, Germany in 1947. And why is that important? Because Article 6, Section 3 is what I stand by and I've stood by for the... See, it flips out when you give good information. So if we all believe that we're in a video game here, and however, then, and we have different experiences, how I look at my biological entity here is that I've discovered that death is an illusion. And why do I think that? People are like, how can you possibly think that? Because I had just recently, as many viewers know, a little nephew be born. I helped him be born on the solar eclipse. And I believe he was very, like, from another dimension altogether because of the way he communicated in utero, and then when he was born, and then everybody knows he passed away, lived 94 days on this planet. Those 94 days were pinnacle to my spiritual growth, and also who was connected in that angelic realm while this was all going on. So I knew there was people in the room helping this timeline be created. So how I'm going to explain like how I think about timelines. And so when we come to these Earth, my timeline here, I made a decision with God and said, okay, I learned so many lessons before, so I'm going to pick Raven's meat suit. She's going to have a crap life, blah, 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 and in the end is going to try and explain how her experiences now are helping people. And I know I'm a spiritual teacher. My life path is 3811. So if you want to look that up. But anyhow, so we have had these things. So we get to planet Earth, and some of us are at, to lack of a better word, do I have these backwards? Oh, it doesn't matter. These are less shiny. Say some of us are, we'll just do 3D here because this is the easy. Maybe I should flip it over because it's easier to draw on the other side. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so I gotta put the lid on this one. Just toss it back in there. Okay, so everybody can still see? Thank you. So we get to planet Earth, and it's a 3D plane, and we have 2D objects here. So pen and paper is 2D, okay? And 3D objects is this pen, okay? Like the paper is 2D, and the pen is, and human, etc. Okay, now I'm gonna flip you all out right here and put 21 dimension there. So I did a video where I was explaining how to get to the 5th dimension here and why that's important. Okay, so we'll talk about that, but I have to label it all out first of my understanding. So in this 3D world, we come here and we get into this, and now this is where I'm going to hit you with all the knowledge and try and make sense of all of the things that we are programmed with. And I'm going to keep using the word program. Okay? So in our 3D meat suit here, we are told to basically through religion, and people, again, have an open mind. Religion was created by man, period. Okay? And they have basically put religion and the Bible there so we wouldn't overthrow the government and the rulers that were ripping us off. And I'm going to prove to you how this is all manufactured, okay? So people who still love the POPE and etc. are going to be upset with part of the story, all right? So this is your triggers, release them. That's what it's all about. So, and why I keep saying triggers. So on our 3D meat suit, okay, face. Okay, so we're basically, why do I put a sad face? Because here on planet Earth, we've been told a number of things. For the last, I'll just go back 110 years or so, like maybe 120 years. For that many years, we have been told that there was people on our planet who deserved more than we did. Correct? Yes, we can all agree. And all of our money pretty much went to them. In the last year and a half, 2 years since last year, I followed who these people were, the bloodlines. And I've done many, many videos about this, okay? And I've done many videos too about all the money structure in 3D. I'm not exaggerating. I can explain how taxes were created, how we were created into these people. I'll do it the most simplistic way, not to dumb down, but just to move the program along. So you can go watch those videos in depth. The one that I'm talking about is called The Beginning of Great Part 2, where they go through the financial structure, all right? So in my opinion, when this was created, religion was created, it was created to monopolize all of the wealth on the earth. So we can all agree that we know what money looks like in the US, okay? And all of this stuff, okay? So what they did when we were born, and we made this contract to be in this 3D environment. So if you lived and died in this pyramid scheme, that was your soul contract. It has nothing to do with moving the energy forward, okay? So, or what's owed to your family, blah, blah, blah. You need to detach right now the spirit, because that's what you're here learning in this biological entity. So I'm just going to keep going back to that. So your spiritual DNA chose to choose your parents, blah, 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 and then learn all of this stuff. So last year I learned that this person was actually, and this person were part of the very, very top of the realm, I guess. And there was actually 3 of these people. And I'm like, what the heck? The one we had in the front in the white was a puppet, okay? See, flick, flick, flick. So, moving on. So what I learned in our financial structure here in Canada, when I agreed to be born, I agreed to go through and have through my parents. My parents did a live birth in a hospital, and then have a birth certificate. And why is this so important? And I want everybody to look up their birth certificate if they can for the small print on there. And you'll see, if you're in Canada, it'll say this on it. BOND. Now, whatever could that mean? Well, what I found out is that for every single person born in Canada, and that has a birth certificate that actually registered, what they did, so we have, this is planet Earth, and there's water. Everything on planet Earth through these people here have registered us into what's called Admiralty and Maritime Law. Basically taking away all of our human rights here on planet. Okay? Now where that is attached is in your strawman account. And that number is registered on the back of your birth certificate, which is, again, this. So what they've done simplistically is they've taken, when we made this contract to come to Earth, we agreed to be a numbered piece of cow, okay, a numbered chattel in this system here, where we give all our money to the top and where we give all our computer information to the bottom. All right. So I'll just draw little flames here. These are terrible little flames, but whatever, you get the idea. So we've given all of our computer information, our lower vibrations. So here on planet Earth, we've agreed to be in this system where we go to work, we are distracted by the television, where Project Mockingbird is a thing. Go look it up. There's all these projects that the lettered companies made, and I'll go through those timelines. So we had all these timelines created for us where they've basically been using our money in this system. Now, what have they done with this money? Well, where is all of our money? You're saying, I want my money back. I'll show you how it's all coming back in a little bit. So we have this thing right now called the economy. Everybody thinks it's like a real thing, okay? Now, how this was created in the last 100 years through the sinking of the Titanic, which was actually the Olympia, they killed off a lot of people that didn't want the Federal Reserve. Then the Federal Reserve, which is a corporation, it's not even a government thing, it's a private corporation, just started using our bonds here, our captured birth certificates, under these admiral and maritime laws. So they captured all of us. So what they've been doing since 1999, and I'm going to go through a little bit more education or refresher of what we've learned. So we learned all of this last year through a number of videos and how we've been made to just, you know, work, feel guilty, whatever. There's a document on the planet, and you can go look it up, that controls all of this, that these guys all made. And the other word I'm going to put on here, so, is for the dark energies down here. Okay, so everybody can see that word? Yeah, okay, because I can't say it. So they created this whole system here, and they made us feel guilty about certain religions through certain timelines, okay? So let's go through a quick timeline here and what timelines mean. Firstly, time in the higher dimensions doesn't exist. especially in this dimension where we're going to. Okay, so right now we're in lower vibes. Okay, so time is an illusion. And what I mean by that is we've all been told that a certain guy named Albert let us know about the universe and that illusion of time and how time space works and da 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 and all this. That's controlled information. So what they've been doing in our timelines of way back when is they took out one important human being that was actually from a higher realm. He chose to have a human experience here. Okay? So when he came into his being, he actually learned about time travel. There's a whole bunch of patents that were created when he was alive. Okay? And why these patents are important, we'll get to those in a second. So anybody who's done research on this lovely man, you'll know. So this timeline was created on here to start basically, again, controlling the energy, electricity, the water, the food, etc. Everything. And how are those all done? Through the government. Across the planet, going to these summits. All right. So in the timeline where this was all created, it's flickering when I say that. Yeah. So BUSH Senior, like Grandpa, was this guy's stealer of information. Let's just put this. So they had to create these timelines, and there's a whole pile of that were good entities that had to experience a lot of high. It's going to keep doing this. Anyways, so it creates change. So in this energy field, I don't think I have a green one, so I'm just going to make it blue. Pineal gland of spirit. So in this realm is where we all exist. All of our spiritual DNA is attached there. So this person who has maybe mastered coming in and out of the past and the future, and this is now time, the present. I hope everybody gets what I'm talking about here. So if this is where we come to meet God again, and this is the past, I'll just use this past, and this is future. These people have a realm, like they can just go in and out, and we don't even see them. It's like apple again going through a piece of paper. They would only see a dot, and then it would go bigger and bigger and bigger. That's a 2D object going. Oh my goodness. Anyways, in this timeline, we're told time is linear. It's not. You know you're onto something. So, we all know that this is a thing. A lot of different timelines. So if time is an illusion, then so is death in my eyes. And the programs that these lower entities have put on them are us through governments, through church, through school indoctrination, through, yes, I'll put university because this is where people are highly programmed. And I'll put doctor there because it's going to come into the conversation as well. So what we've agreed to in the line is we've agreed to wake up to what not only the governments were doing, who these people are. Now, you aren't gonna like me if you're heavily into this thing, programming. Made so we don't kill our oppressors, basically. We're all slaves. Just live in a slave meat suit, but breaking free of our slavery. Think of it as mental slavery. So this is a spiritual war we're in. Because the pineal gland in our brain, that are light, we'll call it our light holders, here we are, shining bright. Do it all like, that's closest I have to shining bright. There we go. So what they've been trying to do through control of our food, water, blah, 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 with heavy metals. And why this? Well, it coats this. And how can you get rid of it? Well, there's a number of ways to uncrack that. And what we're supposed to be doing right now is tapping into this 21st higher realm of energy. So there are people in this timeline that we don't see, of like, we might have called them angels or what have you, that have been around protecting us. And my angel from the future is my little nephew Solace. So he came here in this, he used a biological meat suit as Kat and Kash's son to send his message of how to embrace this loop and how to attach your spiritual self into this loop through love, 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 love. So what we were programmed, I'm going to do Raven and Orange because this is my programmed body. So I was programmed to believe that, firstly, I was supposed to be a single parent and struggle and have 3 jobs and have my kids looked after by someone else and work hard and don't use the system and, you know, basically just wore me out until I was about programmed with. So my kids chose to be kids of a single parent. They chose to be kids of mine. Lucky you. If you're watching, I doubt it, but if you are. But they all chose these times to step in and teach us stuff, just like everyone going here. Now I'm going to blow your minds right now, some of you who haven't grasped the time and illusion thing and how we even got to be here. Well, the agreement way back in the galaxy, and I'm going to use like, maybe this is Mars or whatever, in the galaxy of the stars, and the Galactic Alliance agreed that on planet Terra, Earth, for so long, there would be, we would be allowed to be reigned by these lower 3-dimensional beings that don't possess this, period. They do not possess this. And they are actually from a very dark entity bloodline. And we've been told that these people that wear these things are holy people and righteous and worthy of having more than everybody on the earth. But the fact is, through greed and stealing countries, plain and simple, they've amassed more wealth than everybody else on the planet. We all know that they're all called the 1%. Okay, so who are these 1%? Well, they are, like I said, all related to each other, and that includes even people in this, in the Vatican. Okay, they changed their names, they're all related to each other, it's all convoluted. And their whole mission has been about extracting, I can't even say the word, so I'm going to have to spell it. Adrenochrome. Ochrome. And please look this up. It's actually in a movie. I know there's people I've ran into lately that don't know what that is. So I'm putting it here for those people to look at. But think of the movie Monsters, Inc. Okay? So we've been told that our lower vibrations are generating money for them, just like in Monsters, Inc., through basically the human trafficking of 8 million a year. Undocumented, 8 million. Okay? How did they get that under our noses? Well, all of these companies are owned by the same few people, and they're all related to each other. And I'm going to get to that in a second. And so these people have taken away this timeline for us to have free energy and learn how to tap in. So this whole timeline has been ripped off from us, and we've been sold the lower vibration of the 7 deadly sins in this pyramid scheme, period, where we even give 10% when we go to church. Okay? So if they've been covering up this, how have they been doing it? There's a number of ways. Firstly, you have to understand that the BUSH name was SHERF before World War II. So these people, again, are all related to each other. And I'm just going to get to a quick timeline that's really important and worthy of discussion right now, because somebody's on trial right now. So, some of the things that they have learned in their biological entities, these are the I'll just put energies. Okay, so basically, they can't figure out how to get off this planet. And because the lower vibrations right now, if you watch that video, we're going to talk about this for just for a second, then go back to it. We're moving through higher vibration. Literally, it's a photon where our planet is heading towards this, where all of us are these bubbles, okay? And yeah, bubbles. If you watch the video, we're bubbles. So our pineal bubbles, I'll just put, that's just how I am getting it. We're moving, our spirit is moving towards this higher vibration that does not accept lower vibrations. They don't get how this works. They do not get that. They don't know how this happens. So they're living in these, just going round and round, not learning their lessons. So they leave in the same place that they started off in, a cycle. So that's why some of them look like they do. They also have been doing, whoops, I didn't want to write that word. Yes, okay. So what they've done is they've taken their meat every time. That's so funny. Anyways, so we've all seen the movie Multiplicity, whatever you get. So you get the picture. So anyhow, keywords have done this. They've just taken their lower vibes and put it in a new one of these. Tops. Okay. Okay. So what we're seeing in this flat timeline here is a number of things going on. Remember, they've taught us time is linear. Okay, so if these people are going do 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 on the planet, and they have been for thousands of years, using our biological entities as food, period. I can't say these words because I'll get flagged. I'm just singing happy vibrations. Yeah. I hope I'm spelling it right, but you all get the hint of what to look up, okay? So they've been using these meat suits through lower vibes, mechanical and chemical manipulation of DNA. They've told us we only have 2 strands. I believe it's 12. Okay? I don't know what the difference is yet, but if there's spiritual that's different from our biological, I don't know how any of that works yet. Every day is learning. Every day. You must be open to learning. So these people have only figured out, basically, how to stay in these vibrations by creating more to carry out their dark agenda. Okay? In this, again, thing. Now, happy news. These timelines have all been collapsed already. Collapsed, gone. Raven, how can you know this? Oh, because my pineal has been slapped with so much information lately in the last 2 years that I have a knowing even more strongly than I did when I knew nothing about everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. So what I learned is these people, entities, I won't even call them people, these things representing people right now are glitching in the matrix because these high vibes don't recognize this. It's like a 3D object trying to see a 5D thing. It's not going to see that. They don't recognize it. So they had to figure out a way to get off of the here. Okay? Their dark little beings have to figure out a way to get off of here per the agreement. So the agreement that was just made through the video that I shared is that now we're going to talk about happy people. Okay, so I only have so many papers left. I hope I brought enough. Okay, I'm going to get a different felt pen and just take a breath for a second whilst we gather our wits. Okay, that's good. Good enough. So what has happened is the video keeps glitching. Okay. Is with us that there was a whole bunch of tweets that went out by the 1%. Okay. Going to and okay. So now what's happened? Oh, yeah, I guess that's what happened. Or this was in December, actually. December, there's a variety of them that tweeted. They were all going to here. Now, this video that came out was about a connection from, I'm going to probably spell it wrong, even though I think I'm from there. Whatever, you got the hint. The stars, there's 7, I believe there's 7 star groups. Anyways, I know the second name is Electra. Oops. Maybe that's where I'm from. I don't know. Anyhow, so the connection was made with a 3D being, basically getting information on what these higher beings have been doing. So there's been higher beings here that live in 3D meat suits, and we might know them as like, or from Tibet. Some of them are reported to be like years old. True story. So what these people have the ability to do, this is how I'm proving to everybody that we're just having a biological experience. So what these biological experience entities, who are these high level beings, they can tap into, like, at the same time, like, and have a conversation subconsciously. So they're going through their pineal gland here and tapping into 17, 18 different frequencies at the same time and having conversations with them, because they realize that they're an energetic bubble in this loop, okay? So what basically has happened is these beings here have given messages to many energetic workers, and the person who beat the video game the most, I believe, and is giving us these frequency messages, I think she's gone through this loop many, many times to experience all of these things in these biological entities. But she has the ability to, and that will explain the picture, I think, the other day that freaked people out. I wasn't freaked out, because when she was talking in one of her videos one day, I saw that other person and another being, and I'm like, I'm wondering if I'm going to see the other being's face. Who knows? So what she's basically telling us is what is happening in this 3D where we've been all held under control by this system of money and computers. Okay, this has nothing to do with, well, I guess a little bit about the religion, but whatever. So that's why she says no religion, no politics. They hold no place in these vibrations. So it has come to agreement, I think, under the authority. Yeah, disconnection again. So can't even say that word. So QR is basically sending us the message of how we are being helped break out of the system along with other people. And I'm going to explain some of the people that helped me have an understanding of how we're breaking out. So the agreement was made that by December, these lower dirt bags that are here went to this place here, drank some milkshakes, which for me means they killed off the entire lineage that keeps their dark energies in this old realm, because they can't get off the planet. They're going to be, so what's going to happen to people moving forward is the people that recognize that there is heaven on earth here. Oops. Will all connect their pineal glands in sacred geometry, even though this is like whatever. We're all going to be connected to here. Now, how that's going to look for us is there's a new system in place that we all have to recognize in our 3D meat suit. Okay? Our 3D meat suit has been programmed that we have to have the latest phone, computer, yada, yada, yada. Go to the doctor, etc. So, we've been programmed is to not use our within in our little melons here. Okay, we've been deprogrammed. We've had it coded, feared out of us, scared out of us, and VAXXED, this latest one, has killed the connection between that and the heart for some people. That is their soul contract. Babies, everyone. Old people, everyone. This is why we're detaching. My little nephew said, Auntie, it's not about me. I'm just one little baby. Wait till they hear about all the other babies. So this is the lesson. We're to detach our spiritual DNA experiences, clean up whatever is bothering our heart, so we can feel the vibrations up here in this frequency. So all of these lower vibrations went here, took their milkshakes, according to the intergalactic, I'm going to say it, alliance. And they all agreed on, I believe it was the planet Jupiter, where the dark energies weren't allowed to go. All of these people got together and said, okay, enough is enough. We're stopping this gong show. And it's time. They had 5 months to leave. So in June, they were given 5 months. It's December. Okay? It's December. Guess where all the tweets were going? We're going to Antarctica. Okay? It is my belief that because time does not exist for higher energies, right? That they have learned, or not learned, they have basically taken over everything of the darker energies power, one by one. From the underground, which they're clearing out all of those things. I'm just going to deep underground, military, where they ran the 8 million human people through. Okay. So there was a lot of people who were trying to give us information about that. We know. And what they were doing. And then they were all handkerchiefed, etc. So basically, what is going to happen moving forward, these people have gone now off planet. They have been given a whole planet to do with whatever they want. All the luxuries, all the sinful whatever, they can't come back down here anymore. That's what that means, okay? Is that these are being cleared out, and one by one, this 1% is in their agreement with the higher beings saying, you either stay on this planet, or you either stay on this planet and end everything, or go through this portal to the other planet immediately and never come back. And that's what they agreed to do. So part of their agreement to leave planet Earth, or Terra, alone, was they had to move easily, without collapsing it, this old economy, okay? So there was things created to make that transition easier to understand, okay? This is my opinion of it, by the way. Again, my opinion. So, going to the new system from the old system looks like some of the people that have explained this system to us. I'll explain one. From 1999, what happened was this guy named Russell. I'm hoping I'm spelling. He's got some dashes and commas in there. Basically, went into the United States Postmaster General's office because from the 100 years previous, there was 3 wars, or 2 wars, sorry. I guess 3 if you, whatever. There was one that had to be paid for. That all the people in the world had to pay tax and blah, blah. Okay. So what I learned is since then, and I think 1933, we all had our birth certificates registered and had to be part of the treasury running through the economy. So we all have right now, I'll just say, a digital wallet. Okay, because it's the easiest, most way to describe what I'm going to say. But it's really, to me, our energetic vibrations of our biological entity. Our energetic vibrations of our biological entity. So all these things were created, and at every point there's talking, they talk to each other, the computer to the banks, etc. They have to have permission points. And who explained this to us was Kimberly. Hold on, I'm gonna spell her name wrong too. I think she's from that same planet. She looks like it anyways. But anyways, so this guy, I think, is a time traveler, firstly. Just throwing it out there. But what he did in 1999 is he went over and he captured all of the birth certificates, and then they rewrote the language within this structure, okay? So now say my name, what they did, just for simplicity, I don't know if this is how it handled, but anybody who programs computers knows that we're all ones and zeros, right? So what they did is they took my name that was in all capital letters and they put a dash and a comma and semicolon, whatever. They changed the structure of how the computer talks to each other. What was done in the background is a new computer system was already created. And it's off planet, okay? Something we have no knowledge of. So what was happening way back in 1999 was they took this and broke it down to create the new system. And how the system works is when you stand at the bank machine, there's no bank, well, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you're going to do a transaction from me to you is on one side, and then 3 minus 2 equals 1 on the other side. So what goes in one, it goes out on the other. There's no banks anymore. There's no middleman. It's just you and the system. And how that works is on our biological vibrations, in my opinion. So in this new system, it's 5D technology, let's just say. And it works on nothing but love or above. So you can understand why the dark energies are going to be wanting to scatter off this planet faster than, I don't know, anything. Because they won't, everything in this meat suit that they have, this angry one that's been programmed, is all about being in lower vibrations: sad, fear, greed, murder, rape, abortion, you name it. It's about killing human life. And again, has nothing to do with religion. It's about the human experience. So these beings were like, we can't handle this. We're not going to be able to attach because we don't have love in our hearts. Okay? So this new system now, why it's unhackable is because there's no sticking anything in our arm, there's no nothing. It works on, again, love. So all this old paper money that was created, anyone who tried to take out the FIAT system, that was thin air money, literally, built off of our bonds. Go back to the first one. So if we take the global wealth now and it's in this infinite loop, okay, then if I go to do a transaction from me to you, say I want to buy, I'm looking at a little trailer here. If I want to buy a little holiday trailer from you, then it looks at my vibration, the new phones that we're going to get for free or computers. It's going to look at my vibration. It's going to feel it. We all know that we can test our pulse on the phone, blah, blah, blah. So what it's going to do is feel our frequency and see if I'm in distress, see if you're in distress. And if it's not in distress, then it's going to allow that love vibration to take place and that energy to flow. That's all money is energy. So everything in this old system from 1999, all the gold that was taken out of the Vatican, all the silver, all the platinum, guess what they all have now in this new system? DNA. And it's all marked. It's all re-sanctified. I don't know what you want to call it when it's got holy vibrations. So even if the dark wanted to try and steal my money, there's no way. So their options right now are running thin in this paradigm. So in this flat realm, all they're seeing right now is all of the money has been moved into the new system. And it's running side by side this old junky system that we have our bank money and whatever else in. So a lot of people knew in the last year to go buy these things in this old system because it's part of the new system. So what they did in the last few years, they introduced crypto and all of this stuff to get us familiarized with how, to me, this is literally what I'm thinking, is how I don't think crypto will exist after this happens, because I'm going to explain how I think it's going to roll out. And it's, again, my opinion, just my opinion of what everybody's told us. So there's certain people. So again, the time, I even say his name and look what happens. So that guy basically explained, plus another girl last year, how the game was played to me. All right. Now he chose that meat suit, but what I think happened, and again, in my personal experience, and this is my personal opinion. So if we go back to that timeline of this guy claiming to be king, all that guy told us is that everybody was equal in this system, and that the old system, like he said, we're all kings and queens, okay? Period. And that we're all equal. And he believed in world peace. Oh yeah, the book I was going to tell you about is the one he told us about. The one you can all go look up, how they separate us. I'm going to write it really big. If you've never read it, you need to read it. It's, I think, 86 pages. And a guy found this dog. Yeah, their program, like how they programmed everybody. So all of those things that we were taught are in that book, including these things. Okay? Separates everybody. So this person opened up this timeline of how it would work, essentially. Okay? And how this was fake in the Matrix. He also explained how to go, like, how in the Bible they lied to us about, well, kind of lied, hidden in plain sight. You fold your clothes and you get a new pair when you die. So reincarnation is something that was kept from us. So that's why we were all believing that we die and there's nothing afterwards. That's all bull crap. Period. So, and if you think that, that was your soul contract to come and learn that, just so you know. So this guy told us about how they were dividing us, and then how he also, I was like, he was the first person to tell me about these things. I was like, what the heck? How can you do that? And then the more I learned, I'm like, oh, I kind of get how this all works. So if you have a good grip, say your name is Saint Germain, and I'm just going to put this as Saint Germain here. He's mastered his pineal gland. I'm going to put a crown on his pineal gland. So he can, I'm not saying that's who Greg was. That's not what I'm saying. But these people can come and choose to shapeshift into the body or put on a suit to, oh, it's 11:11. I'm so grateful. Choose which body they're going to have to affect a timeline. So, because there's no time again, and we live in a linear time, they can see the future. Okay? They can see the future of what's going to happen. I'm not saying he could, but like these higher dimension beings. So if these people have like this grip of when to come in and out of people's lives or what timelines, this guy he let me know what this meant. I can't say it. I'm going to misspell it. And how there's so many things in the Bible. He told us there was also books in the Bible. Education with him that opened up timelines last year. Everyone who watched me last year knew that. So he opened up all of this information for me to even go deeper into why we're all here effectively. Now, he was a very humble person when I talked to him. We laughed about $2 or £2 pants and my $4 fancy dress that I wore one time. It was just funny. This is silly fun. 3D fun. Okay? But I think after a time, if these people open the timeline and affected that change, they go on. And how do we even know that's his info? If these people are such high beings, then is it above our understanding to grasp that even, say, QR can come in and out of just a thought. So what if this person in this body here, which rumor went around, must be onto something good. Okay, so can you see this name way up here? There we go. All right. So what if it was him that hopped in here and in this 3D meat suit of Greg told my 3D meat suit the story went down. What, and then he hopped out and went into Juan's body. meet suit. How do we know? We don't know nothing. This is my opinion. This is my personal experience of planet Earth. So how do we know that he didn't do this? Or how do we know it's not someone else? We have no clue. So basically, people were saying that this person is a psyops, lives in the lower programming of 3D. And it's the fear because I'm telling you, they are really giving me grief. Just gonna leave this calm. So if this person can read intentions, which she tells you she can, and she can see timelines. Basically what it means in our 3D world, what's going on is she's showing us right here how it has to be military, okay, to break down those admiralty and maritime that are in this loop where we're all beholden to the dead reptile. Yes, that's what I said. Lizard breath is a dead reptile. So, in my opinion, what's happened is the timeline of the lizard queen has been collapsed long ago. Okay, she's been off on the other place a long time ago, and it's their multiplicities that are walking around. I'm not going to use the other words. Walking around. So this benevolent being who has to put this for our passports in this old loop is explaining to us how we are being broken out of this loop as well. Okay? So she's conquered these realms many, many lifetimes. That's what she's told us, if you've been paying attention. So she has had suffering above many people's suffering on the planet to come back and help us. So your opinion of her doesn't matter, because she's resonating in her 21D truth that is way out of our consciousness of 3D, what we have experienced so far. So our 3D meat suits, right, okay, are getting good vibes and blessings from this benevolent being and other ancestors. Now, she's told us our ancestors that are here, our future grandchildren. So the benevolent aliens that we'll be seeing are our grandchildren and ancestors in the future. In this future. Those are the people that come in their little ships that we see here, Whoops, I'm draw a happy little. And there's good ones and bad ones. And she's told us that's an alien. Sorry. Again with the stickman. So she's told us they're here all around. And you're getting blessings and you're getting help. And how you can help yourself break out of this is by going back to this system. And draw it nice and big here. Ooh, that was pretty good. Yay! Okay, so all of these, as Tesla learned, are swirling vortices. And these vortices are located all over the planet. They create stargates and portals and places. It's been reported that from Alaska to Hawaii, you can just walk from one end of the room, one through a door basically and go to Hawaii. Yeah, instantly. So now for everybody, I brought up the FLAT theory of our, and it's a realm, it's dimension. We all create it, okay? We're all creating what they've been programming us. So what we've realized is that this old system is, told you it was going to be frustrating. So basically in this new system, I'm just going to draw a bunch of little hearts. There's billion or so stuffed souls on the planet. There's an, okay, if you lived and died like my mother did in this system, your energy, if you didn't learn your lessons, you just come back into the same thing. I'm just going to put this as past and future. Okay. So how it's right now is all of the people that belong to this from the top and now working way, and then from the bottom and up. So if this is our earth right here, okay, then what's happening right is there's agreements made that certain things will be done at certain times to not collapse this old matrix. Okay? So in my eyes, how some of the things, and again, this is my opinion, will be rolled out, is it will look like to us in our banks here. This is okay, everybody can read. Okay, super duper. So they've made agreements, basically. Everything that's in our thing right now is protected. So please don't worry about what's happening there. Okay? It's yours. It's not going anywhere. Okay? Period. Queen has told us that. So what has to happen in this is that, as you may have seen, and in the last few years have gone away from their jobs, okay? Not there anymore, been replaced. So if we look at it as those lower vibes, all the bad actors now have people who are helping carry the story. I hope you can see that. So they've all been replaced. So we're generating higher vibrations in our economy through the things that will come to light soon, okay? So there's an agreement made that things have to be rolled out in a certain way. So my belief of what's going to happen is, I'll write on this back here because I'm running out of paper. System, I'm just going to use what most people have. Okay, your mortgage. Say, for example, here in Canada, you went and got a mortgage for 200 grand, okay? On your house that was, I don't know, say 250, because that's usually what I saw on paper when I worked for mortgages. Okay, so that $200,000 mortgage now goes into a 25-year amortize. You've got for 5 years. So every 5 years, 5 times, you're going to get that mortgage renewed. Okay. So you've paid from year 1 to 17 mortgage. Yeah. So you're now $200,000 mortgage. Becomes, I don't know, let's just say 500,000. Just for 25 years, that's what you paid. Okay, if you made your payments every month on time and whatever. So just to explain what they did with your mortgage payments, and this is why they charge you so much interest, is everyone who had the same credit score as you and had the same terms were lumped together. And your mortgage here of 200,000 was sold with other people's mortgages. So say you went to I'll just give a, say some trust company, and not to call any, I'm just saying, you know, I don't know any names of mortgage companies anymore. Anyway, so you went to this trust company and you say, oh, I want a mortgage for $200,000. So what this trust company does is they service the mortgage. They make sure you get your paperwork, your money, and everything. So this company has millions of dollars in an account, okay? And there's people who work at this mortgage company who basically phone the lawyers and say, I need all the paper, make sure all this. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So they send off this money to the lawyers. So this amount of money, it's usually 520 of all of the same terms and credit score. They sell that now to an insurance company or a bond company. Okay, that's why you pay penalties when you get out of your mortgage, period. Because they got to go into this pool, take out your mortgage, and replace it with someone who has exactly the same amount of time left in their 25-year mortgage. Because that's what's generating the money for the company through these things, okay? So that's where your money goes. So in the new system and running side by side, this is just my opinion of what might happen. So they're going to take all this money that you paid in your mortgage from your whatever it is, all the interest. Don't think they don't know exactly how much to the cent. Okay? So they take all this interest you paid in the new system because it's your money, and they put it in your digital wallet in the new system. All right? So in this nice little loop here, we're going to have our money come back. I believe this is where already all of our birth certificate money is. So don't worry about tapping into any of that stuff yet. It's coming sooner than you think, and it'll be better than you think by any stretch of the imagination. So anything that we paid out to this pyramid scheme through these contracts, like credit cards and mortgage, are going to be returned to you. It might come back into your bank account here, but again, it's already in the system. Okay, does that make sense? Then I think there's not going to be any more student loans. They'll just be wiped out. And somebody already had their student loan wiped out this year here in Calgary, just last month. So these things all look like they're part of the thing that the KING last year told us were going to happen. Okay? my last piece of paper. Okay. It's back in your system. So what is going to happen is we're going to have I'm going to draw this. So there's people already who are in this loop. I feel this loop. I see this loop. I'm manifesting heaven on earth. And that's happening to me already. I've been over in the future for a long time. We won. I've been saying for a year. It's not bad connection. It's just like, seriously, they're just stopping me from telling you guys what they don't want you to know. That's all. So be patient. So let's go back to this here. So what's going to happen is in this, our system, we're going to have that boop, and we're going to be told what was going on the planet for the last thousands of years. This crap, okay? This cycle of humans just as whatever they were. So what a lot of us have realized already is that if we sit in our higher selves, then we have already affected change in all of that realm, all of this energy. We're already here floating around, but we have to watch this system be told so that our biological entities and our spiritual DNA can experience it. So we never do it again. We never bring those lower vibrations down to planet Earth. So they've been stopping us from connecting to these higher vibrations and from feeling this, that we are all one. We are all one. This is how we are all one. Through these energies that go on the planet. So there's going to be this where we're going to hear what happened in this lower dimension. Now, everybody on the planet will know where they were, what they were doing. And we all know where we were when 9/11 happened. It will lower the collective consciousness for a short period of time. Okay? It'll bring us all down, just empathetically. And that's why is telling us to detach. So this is how I understood what the ascension part of our journey looks like. If we cannot feel these high vibrations and messages by tapping in here, if we don't have an understanding of what our past was, where our future is, if we don't do that, doesn't matter if you're awake or no lots or whatever, if you have not spiritually done the release of all the lower vibrations that you feel in your biological entity, it will prevent you from going further, and it will trap you into this 3D vibration. Now, we all know what this vibration looks like right now. The people who are walking around in fear. Okay? The fear vibrations. So if we don't disconnect and detach from what is coming and what has been co-created for us already, not only by our ancestors, but all the people who are sitting here in the higher dimensions in a 3D suit, okay? So if we tap into these higher consciousness, by helping one another, that's what Queen Romana is saying. You guys all help each other. You're already in this loop. Make it happier. Make it more blissful. I'm blissing you with this. And you're suffering. It's only you that can do it. She literally said that yesterday. If you're expecting to even argue with somebody on her channel, this is what I was getting at last week. That's not what she's telling you to do. Come together. Come together, love each other, help each other. Okay? So that's what it is all about, is the understanding that we are powerful enough to do so. So she's been blissing with the I am power to connect. She's telling us how this will look. She's explaining to you that seniors are getting more money, that we're all helping with hay donations. The military is getting more money per month. Like, I don't know what part of those positive things that are going on our planet, humanitarian works. So what I think happened to me last year is I think I saw this person, and I think I felt what she was trying to say to me last year with her intentions of, like, I just kept seeing this being and friendly face, and she's just going to shake our hand and know what our intentions are. Well, she doesn't even have to shake our hands. It has nothing to do with our 3D meat suit. That's what I've learned. So she already knows where our heart vibration is, because she can see all timelines play out here. And I have a friend here on planet Earth, a couple of them, but one in particular I'll talk about, who I know is this being, and who I know has gone, and I don't deny the fact that he's been there. And he is the most magical person I've ever met. I don't know how to explain. When I hug that man, I'm like, oh my goodness. It's just amazing. So the vibrations are so in pure, heavy duty love. Like, love that guy so much. So if he's saying God has prepared a place for us, they're really buffering bad. Bear with me, kids. Bear with me. Oops, here we are. So basically, she's giving us this power to connect each other. I'm just gonna finish up one last little thing about some timelines that I know of collapse that people maybe not have seen. So I already mentioned that pretty soon I think we're gonna see Croak and this person. Now what that means for the 3D world, and then what that means for the 3D world to me is it's a breakdown of this here in Canada. Nobody wants Prince Charles on our money. I can guarantee you that a million times over. Go ahead, vote right now if you want Prince Charles on Canadian money. I'll wait. No. So if this person, this being dies and this person is not here, then there's a whole bunch of things that are released of energy that we've been tied to energetically. So it does lead for us to open up and accept a new structure if we're just purely talking about our 3D meat suit, period. Okay? So these to make it smooth. So we are going to see a lot of things by computer hacking, banks, hospitals, shipping, planes, trains, all of that stuff. People need to pay attention to what these people look like. Or how about this turd? She was telling us he had brown hands the other day. That's not his natural color. Look for the actors, what she's saying. because these timelines have to be collapsed for the 3D to accept the lesson. Okay? If we don't accept the lessons, we're back in this loop until we learn them to go into the future. So I hope that made sense. Oh, I finished that at like 1:44 almost. Ooh, I can barely see. Anyways, but I hope that makes sense for everybody. So everybody who's on board, Canada is the way that all the other countries will roll afterwards, because Canada is the most corrupt country on the planet. And I love Canada. I'm a patriot. So it all has to do with these old programs, though. If you accept that we have been bamboozled into this system of everybody taking our money and spying on us, I'll put an I at the bottom, and using our computer information against us, like this government does. You know, who wants to be a part of that? No, I don't. We've been all hearing the same thing for the last bit about the same things. So it's up to us to wake up everybody and share the positive information that's going on about what's happening on our planet. This is what we should be talking about and co-creating this future, period. So we can break out of this. The more people that do this, the faster we get out of here. The more you're open to helping one another and sit in light and love vibrations and work through your triggers to move up to a higher dimension of understanding and understanding, then it's up to you to do it. It's only you. No one else can do it. So if you're sitting there being angry at somebody for something, that's a you problem. If you're mad at me for something, that's a you problem. Excuse me. So I'm going to do some, it's kind of dark here, I guess, but here, I'll turn it. Bear with me. I'm just going to change the scenery. That's the end of charts. I hope you guys all enjoyed that part. And now I'm going to see if I can get the Trump flag in the background a little bit. Oh. There. Now, yes. So, yeah, it's been a wild ride for everybody, and I'm so happy that you all made it this long. And I know I could have talked in more detail about a lot of the operations and what's happening with the agendas that are going on still. But again, it's just the last of these programs to be played out. And if you think of yourself as an avatar, and this is literally one big video game, then up every time you clean out your something that's bothering you. So thanks, Holly. So yeah, patience is our full questions here. We can't have 3 likes. Stop messing with her video. Doing it clearly. Freeze charts. Yeah, I'll take pictures of all these charts after I'm done. Maybe. Yeah, they're all glitching. I just got to see who's going to Antarctica. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are all happy. I was super happy. I felt like I got this big understanding of what was going on. Yeah, so I think that everybody who's in a certain place right now that's struggling with, say, one part, say it's your parents, for example, as long as you realize that the part of the game is about accepting the journey. Okay, it's like going to a wizard in the avatars, running up to the wizard right now and saying, okay, the Great Awakening is right here, and here's all the things that you need to do to release your triggers and to move on to the next meat suit or to move on to the higher dimension, whatever it is. If you don't learn your lessons, you're back in the paradigm of going around until you can level up again, because that's what we're here for, is leveling up and sharing that high vibration of love. We're all supposed to be the people right now praying under the tree in Avatar. Like, that's literally the best. Avatar is the best way I can explain what's going on the planet right now. And I just watched Jumanji, the latest one. I'm like, well, it's all CGI. That's what another thing people have to realize. The television and everything is CGI, controlled by those people up there to tell the story so people don't lose their minds. Period. End of story. There's a lot of people who have such cognitive dissonance on so many things, like, and they aren't open to hearing a lot of the information that's been given to them through a number of links and whatever. They're like, I don't want to know that. And I'm like, if you don't want to accept that, you to acknowledge them in the 3D, like literally. And again, Queen Romana is telling us how to do it. Start fasting. You can go on like fruit smoothie diets is what I love. I love fruit smoothie. And don't put any crap in it. I'm talking about fruit and fruit juice, period. And distortions. The more we eat lower vibration things like meat and cheese, like and dairy, oh man, it just keeps your computer from being cleaned up and getting proper information and downloads. And it prevents your liver from cleansing itself. It prevents a lot of stuff. So some tips that I want to share with everybody is that I know that people have been asking me what I've done in the last year to clean out my body. And first, I have eaten meat in the last year. I'm not going to lie. I know that. People have known that. It's not that I've eaten a lot. Maybe 10 pieces of meat in like the last 12 months, if that. Most of it's chicken. All of it was, I think, chicken. Anyways, but what they're doing to our meat right now, you don't want to eat that stuff. They're injecting the VAX into it, and it's in all of our food. They're sterilizing it with the mRNA. Yeah. So why would you want to eat any of that? And it's a dead energy. So you're putting a dead vibration into your high vibrating body. That's why some people aren't going along more in getting more downloads, is because we need to clean ourselves up as much as possible. And I'm not without sin. I'm telling you, I still eat cheese once in a while. I freaking love it. But every time I do, I'm like, and if you knew where pork was even made from, human and wild boar, you probably wouldn't eat it anymore either. So I haven't eaten pork most of my life. You're gonna see you're gonna see all of those things also, and again, soul contracts. Those are soul contracts of beings that just whatever they came here to learn, that's what we're here to learn. So it's not between anybody and anyone else. So there are certain people who are here to wake up time. MAGA, for example, was by TRUMP. And he had to get the vibrations of the planet in higher vibrations. And he was the person that was chosen to open that timeline of breaking the dark cycle of the corporation of the United States government. It's a corporation that owns all the other corporations. So who better to break it than someone who's been it? I'm just about everything. That's about to come. I have an understanding of the way the system has been, broken. And I've been taking borax baths, Epsom salts baths, sometimes them together. And they've been releasing those little black things in my body. Yeah, I've had them come out quite a bit. And then I've been doing a zeolite spray. It's called TRS, and I've done that a couple of times. Actually 3 months. I've done it out of the past 12. I've done the thing that you give horses for worms. I've done that. That worked awesome. You guys all need to take that, especially if you have anything. Everybody needs to do that, period. End of story. Go look up online. It's IVERMECTIN, I think, .com. so you can order it. And yeah, anything moving forward, I'm just, I don't know. I think we're on the precipice at something like we are in our 3D matrix. There has to be a release of energy to catapult us into the future. As soon as that global thing and that EBS happens, we're going to have information and technology released to us way back from when Tesla had it taken away from him. So all of this stuff is going to come to us, and it will mess up a lot of people's consciousness. They won't be able to accept that we are free. Like there's a lot of people whose soul contract was just to come here, and either they didn't learn anything about being a Gestapo in the former life, so they're handing out tickets and being a-holes in this life, forcing the jab. Can you please post on Telegram what strength to take? And oh, okay. I just looked online. So, and medical. Oh yeah. ANG. Okay, so yeah, from the heart space always. Exactly. So yeah, I have to look online for that because I don't know what I even took for that amount of stuff. So the other thing is working through things that bother you. I just talked about this with friends the other day. Again, like triggers is a big thing for people. Like it's a huge thing. And I always try and acknowledge what I'm learning from certain people. It's just like they're their own little wizards giving you information. Okay, what am I learning from this people? Okay, or this person. And so I've learned that. Now move on. And I think, yeah. Anyhow, again, the horse paste comes in a tube. Yeah, yeah. It's really good. I know. People got rid of one lady's lupus online. Yeah, cleared it up, the whole thing. So anyways, what I was going to say is if we have something, acknowledge it and speak about it. If you don't actually acknowledge it and release it or surrender it, like I had said in my video yesterday, and forgive yourself, it will continue your suffering. And people are going to have, like, the people who have chosen the thing are going to have such a hard time acknowledging what they got boozled. Like they're going to have such a hard time. And it's up to us right now, is that there's people who are going to acknowledge that things are beautiful, and then there's people who are way we're timeline and this timeline and whoa, what about this and that, you know. So there's things on QR's page, like do the healing Shungite meditation by Dr. Virtual 7. That's amazing. Actually go play any of his meditations or AI bot removals or black magic medicine removals. All of those frequencies are what our body needs to shed off those old programs. The old programs have heavily given like this information where we're not good enough, or we need to fight with somebody other, or we need to put people down. It's not about that. That's what QR is showing us on her page through come together, help each other out in light and love. So I don't see a lot of questions here. I must have whoosh. Surprise hands. I'm just kidding. So I'm just so grateful for everybody in the vibration. I wanted to kind of wrap up the easiest way I could explain what I was feeling and my planetary experience here. And who knows how long this biological entity. I'm hoping that I want to live forever on planet Earth and keeping the healings and teachings and make sure that maybe that's my own soul contract, or maybe it's, I don't know how else to do it than how I'm doing it now. So I'm really grateful. I'm grateful just to be alive, and however many people get to watch this video, I am super grateful. And I can explain other things on one-offs, but I wanted to keep it concise, and I know it's a super long video, But anyways, I just want to end on that note. So I don't see any more questions. Somebody comment so I can see what the heck. Gets body stronger. Yeah, I will watch your video again later. Okay, perfect. And if I didn't mention already, the MED, BEDs, if you haven't looked those up, are going to be helping us realign our biological entities according to our spiritual DNA. So our consciousness can only handle so much, I think, at a time. But you still have to do that work. That's what it is all about. The human experience is about working through those emotions that tie us to the lower vibrations. So I can't wait to experience love in the purest of joy and simplicity and just crying because we're just so dang happy. So I hope this video finds you at peace with yourself, and remember, we would all do better. Yeah, this video, I tell ya, I'm gonna get glitched out of the matrix. So anyways, I love you guys all.